Good morning, children. Welcome to the social session. Children, in the previous session, we tried to understand about the Ramanujacharyas and Shankaracharya, Adi Shankaracharya's philosophy of Advaita and Vasishtha Advaita. And today we move on to the Natpanthis, Siddhis and Yogis. Also we have learnt about some of the saint poets. Okay, saint poets where they have rejected the ritualism, the pity and social differences based on birth they have rejected. They have propagated a new movement which we mentioned it as a Bhakti movement was propagated by these people like the Eknath, Tukaram and many other saint poets. Today let us learn about Siddhis, Yogis and Natpanthis and what is their role in the propagation of this devotional path to the divine, and how do we achieve the bliss of the God. Well, let us see under this. Many religious groups of this period criticized the ritual and other aspects of conventional religion. In all religions there is a method which has been prescribed, they have rejected that, okay, and other aspects of the social order using simple and logical arguments they started bringing out and they started rejecting that orthodoxy. And among them were the Natpanthis were there, Siddhacharyas were there, Yogis were there. They advocated a renunciation of the world. What is this renunciation, children? Renunciation. See. So, the changes which they wanted to bring in the world, especially in the mode of religion, okay. So, that was expected through these Natpanthis and Siddhacharyas. They prescribed a path through which this inner soul, okay, can merge into the supreme God. So that is called as renunciation. So to them, the path to the salvation is nothing but mukti, okay. The path to the salvation lay in the meditation on the formless ultimate reality. They believe that God doesn't have any form, and this ultimate reality people should understand is what they have propagated. And to achieve this, they advocated intense training of the mind, okay, how the meditation should take place. They have advocated the training of the mind and body through the practices like yogasanas, breathing exercises and even with the meditation. These groups became particularly popular among the lower caste because these low caste people doesn't have sufficient money to conduct the yagas and yajnas, which is a very expensive method. So this Siddhacharyas practices and Yogis got attracted, okay, their teachings were attracted especially by the lower caste people. And their criticism of conventional religion created a ground for devotional religion to become a popular force in northern India especially. So this force is not only in one religion, not only in Hinduism, even in Islam, even in Christianity also such kind of changes have occurred. The saints had much in common with the Sufis also. We call these the saints or sages even in Hinduism, and even in the Sufi saints are there, even there are very common things between them also. So much so that it is believed that they adopted many ideas from each other. And Sufis were Muslim mystics in the sense jo magic karte jai, okay, we call them black magic, okay. So they believe that they had very powerful they had external some powers with them. So they rejected outward religiosity and emphasized even on the love and devotion towards God and compassion towards all the fellow human beings was what preached by these Sufi saints also. And you know, Islam propagates strict monotheism. Mono means single. Islam propagates only single God or submission of oneself to the God. That is the only way through which Islam is propagated. And it also rejected idol worship. जो idol को रख के, जो statues को रख के pray करते हैं, वो तो completely rejected है इस्लाम में. And they also considerably simplified the rituals of worship into collective prayers. जब भी फ्राइडे कलेक्टिव प्रेयर्स जो है, ओके, सो दैट इफ इट इज परफॉर्म दैट इज एनफ. But whereas in other religions there are elaborative and expensive methods which are involved in the performing of the religions. So at the same time, Muslim scholars also developed a holy law called as Shariat, okay, that is called as a Muslim law. And the Sufis often rejected the elaborate rituals and codes of behavior demanded by Muslim religious scholars. They sought union with God. That means if you wanted to merge, if you need the salvation, अगर आप God में involve merge होना चाह रहे, then as a love seekers, his beloved with a disregard for the world. Like the saint poets, there are many Sufis who composed poems expressing them their feelings, and a rich literature even in prose also they have written, including anecdotes as well as fables. There are many stories. What we call is a naats, okay, in praise of the God, you can see. And among the great Sufis of Central Asia, if you see the Ghazali, Rumi and Sadi are very famous Sufi saints, and Natpanthis, Siddhis and Yogis, the Sufis too believed that the heart can be trained to look at the world with a different view. So this is how the Natpanthis have been propagating the Bhakti movement, and there are many common things between the Sufi saints as well as these yogis. And they also developed elaborative methods of training using zikr, that means chanting of a name or a sacred formula, like moving of the Rudrakshas, these Hindus do the same kind of thing, telling the name of a god or a sacred formula again and again. Zikr we call it as. And they also had developed sama, that is nothing but singing, and even raqs, dancing, and discussion of parables and even breath control. These all are things which are very common between the yogis and even with the Sufi saints. Thus emerged the silsilas, that is nothing but a genealogy of Sufi saints, Sufi teachers, and each following a slightly different method. The method is nothing but tarika, okay, different tarika एक saint से और एक saint को रहती है ये Sufi saints में. But the thing is how to merge human beings into the supreme soul, that is the supreme God, is the ultimate reality. So this is how the ritual practice got started. A large number of Sufi saints from Central Asia settled in India also from the 11th century onwards. Some of them, you know it very well, Qutbuddin Bakhtiyar Kaki of Delhi, and even Baba Farid of Punjab, Khwaja Nizamuddin Auliya of Delhi. These are Bandhanawaz, Gisur Daraz of Gulbarga are some of the important Sufi saints. We'll see in the next class. Thank you.